later, you'll be able to rip them all at the same time and burn through all those runes that you've saved.
I see Annie.
But we are going to be jumping into our second match of round 1. That is going to be Dana Fisher in the Annie cosplay, playing Annie Darkchild, going up against Cody on Jinx. And you love to see it.
Yeah, this was almost really awkward, Cass, because I almost wore the same thing today.
Right.
It would have been
I know,
so awkward.
Look, I mean, you were in the Annie outfit. I was in the Tibbers one. We showed up, and Dana was here, and we were like, oh, like we're just
we should scrap this. Yeah, we're gonna.
Ours doesn't look nearly as good.
No, we're gonna get blown out of the water, so we just decided to wear our jackets instead.
Yeah, but Dana is going to be starting the game off with the Arena's Greatest. We saw this previously as well from our Annie player in round 1, and Cody on the other side with Candlelit. So this may be similar to that Jinx variation that was playing the Nocturnes in the main that won a city challenge in China not long ago. One of the better placing Jinx lists that we've seen overall.
Yep.
And it's going to be a stacked deck out the gates, not going to find a Nocturne to kick things off.
But
that is a Noxus Hopeful, which is generally quite a good grab on turn 2 stacked deck.
But looks like just gonna go for the Traveling Merchant instead. Also a very, the best regularly cast 2 drop, I would say, is our good friend Gumbo here.
Ooh, a Nocturne in hand.
That's not where you want to see Nocturne.
You will want to potentially Gumbo away, but this is quite the might hit going instead 2 instead of the 4 that you would have had. But I do think a lot of these decks end up liking stuff like Rasa as well. So getting a discard outlet to try and start churning through the deck, especially with a Nocturne in hand, I can understand maybe going for Gumbo, especially if you're thinking maybe you don't need as high of might values into Annie versus just kind of getting a unit down anyways.
Well, and also, the Jinx deck is going to be functioning very differently than the Annie. I think Annie unquestionably is going to would take the Noxus Hopeful there, whereas this Jinx deck, like you said, is using the trash as a resource here.
Interesting card inclusion for Dana's version of Annie, having Vayne.
I had one.
Not every Annie is playing this, but some are liking that one of deck. Have things enter ready. I mean, why do you enjoy Vayne in your Annie deck as well?
Oh, because the list that I found online had it in it, and
very good.
I copied that one.
Yeah, no,
I have no creativity. Sorry.
The idea though with the Vayne is that you would like to have a couple more options to play something ready. It's a very good end game threat to just close out the game when your opponent is maybe holding both sides. You only have one big unit, but now you get to just kind of play this 5 accelerate, pseudo accelerate to go in and get the double conquer to win the game.
And the serious note is like we mentioned in the last game, that 5 break point and even 4 to an extent is a big break point. Kai'Sa's not able to get through. You're basically just Darius, or if you have a Void Seeker, but Vayne slots in quite nicely to deal with a lot of those 4 might units that are trying to hold down those battlefields.
We're going to go back over to Cody. A lot of Chaos Runes out of the gates. There's going to be the stack deck once again.
How about a third one?
And again, no Nocturne. But since this is a Nocturne variation, I would not be surprised to see the third stack deck taken. But it does get passed in favor of a Flame Chompers. And maybe that means this is a Demolitionist turn.
Could be.
Coming from Cody, looking for some discard fodder. But there's only one red rune. So actually, Demolitionist is kind of off the table.
Yeah, well, not accelerated at least, but.
Yep.
Oh no, would not be able to play the Flame Chompers.
But Merchant can grab this Flame Chompers and use that single Fury rune available to get that down.
Again, pointing the needle towards taking that Traveling Merchant there instead of the Noxus Hopeful. I mean, the game is completely different, and you can play it completely differently. I'm not saying better or worse here, but Cody obviously knows this deck, knows what they want to do, knows what their game plan is, and is executing it right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and offer the trade of Merchants.
Okay.
Does have the discard trigger. I will expect the Flame Chompers. No. Not gonna. Still holding on to the Flame Chompers.
I think they chose the wrong card.
That's what it is.
Card arts look not too different at this point.
Gets to play the Chompers at home. Now that's 5 might at base. A second Merchant to continue that churn. And just open to going for this trade. But that is going to be Dana saying, you know what? No, I'd actually like to keep my Merchant. And is going to go for a Void Seeker to deny Cody that take and just continue to look for some points.
As a level 1 judge, Casanova, answer me this. Could the Flame Chompers been played at the Candlelit Sanctum with the Gumbo?
So Cody does not control the Candlelit Sanctum. Dana currently does.
Right.
So you would not be able to play that Flame Chompers there, as we are going to see a Nocturne discarded to that Chemtech Enforcer. This is a 2 for 2 might. It does require you to discard when you play it, which sounds pretty bad, but it does have Assault too. So it's kind of a 2 for 4 when you're playing offensively. very powerful card in these
Yep.
Jinx decks where you really want to empty your hand. And Cody has completed his quest as Jinx. He is down to 1 card, which means he will draw 2 at the start of his turn.
Yes.
Or he will draw 1 for
at the beginning
Jinx
phase,
in the beginning
and
phase,
then 1
and 1
at
for
draw.
draw phase.
1 at B and 1 at D.
Back over to Dana, a stacked deck for her as well. See what she's able to pick up.
And I've got to say, I do love the single non-blinged rune. I found that to be what is the case for people who are just opening packs and putting the ones that they open, because I have like 4 orange blinged runes in one of my decks, and none of the other runes match. It is it just shows like, hey, we're still at the beginning of the game. It's not just everyone maxing out rarity on everything. It's like, hey, these are the runes I opened and traded for, and also I just have a regular one too.
I'm gonna see 3 runes for a sneaky deckhand.
There
Just
he
gonna
is.
push Dana up to 4. Very electric start from this Annie. You know, you're going up in an aggro mirror, but you're 4-1 out the gates. Just this is exactly where you want to be. Probably going to have to sacrifice that deckhand, but maybe not. We're going to look at this, the rest of the hand. It looks like there's a Ride the Wind, Fight or Flight, a couple answers. Get to move back, Gumbo. Get rid of the redundant card. 2 Vi's. You have the Vi the Wind in hand. Vi plus Ride the Wind does pretty much let you win from 6 guaranteed as long as there's no spell shenanigans on the other side, right? Your opponent's tapped out. It's basically a guaranteed win. And Dana's holding on to that with this huge lead in points early on already.
Looks like we have
some technical difficulties.
tech difficulty. We're jumping back in time here, but we still have looks like we have jumped here. We'll get this fixed. There we go. We are back at the correct match. Sorry about that, folks. You see, the invert timelines affects us even on the broadcast. It inverted the timeline to show us a spot there. But here we are now. We have that, again, aggressive start here from Annie, but certainly not an unaggressive start here from Jinx. This has not gotten the points yet, but here is the volley back. What are they going to be able to put together? What is Andy going to be left with at this point? Flame Chompers and a 4 might unit with, or a 2 might unit with Assault here. So 7 total might on the side of Cody going into the sneaky deckhand at 2.
Yeah, it's just going to be a 4 and a 3 against 2, so nothing that Dana can actually trade back with. However, she can consider if there are any spells that seem good in this spot. The Ride the Wind is maybe a consideration, but just going to Fight or Flight the deckhand, valuing just having more might back at home. And can try and utilize this a little bit later, making sure that she's got enough material to push towards 6, because she knows, hey, I have this Vi Ride the Wind that can close out this game as soon as I'm ready, and I just need to make sure I have enough gas to push towards that.
Yes, Vi Ride the Wind can win you the game when you're at 6 points. It is significantly worse if you need to use that combo to get to those 6 points, because Vi Ride the Wind, you kind of only get to do it once. It does not work a second time unless the game goes in a very weird direction. So, yeah, I definitely agree. I love that play there.
Funny enough, that's usually true. But if Dana had kept the other Vi, you do have Annie Stubborn, where you can buy back the Ride the Wind.
Yes.
If you have second Vi, you can just kind of do it
Buy
again.
the wind.
But you do at least need enough stuff in your trash to make that work. And that ends up being the harder part of the equation in those spots.
No, this is, I'm really liking the way that Dana played it here. It is a very common play to have to fight or flight your own unit. You do just need the material. Riftbound, unlike other games, does not matter if the unit is a million might Dr. Mundo or just a sneaky deckhand. It conquers just as well. You get the same number of points for conquering at that point, unless it's a Tryndamere, in which case you can get that extra point.
All right, so that is just going to be the draw off of the Traveling Merchant, and then the Conquer. It is just going to be a seal. So Cody going to be able to go up to 3. But that is Jinx with no cards in hand, which is, you know, the norm.
Where they want to be,
You want to be drawing 2. But that means that Dana, when she goes for this Awaken on everything, can just look at the hand and be like, okay, I get to do whatever I want here, and that cleave is massive because while that attacked in for 7, it defends for 5 total because of this Chemtech Enforcer having Assault, but only the 2 base printed might. So by fight or flighting back her deckhand, she saved the material to try and run into both sides. Cleave will allow one of these 2s to win on one side, and then you can use a spell to deal with the Traveling Merchant, go up to 6, and be ready for your Vi Ride the Wind to close out the game. And we're going to see maybe exactly this from Dana, just completely dialed on this anti-deck, playing the Void Seeker, clear out one side, draw a card, play the Cleave on one of your units, push it into the arena's greatest. Dana is playing this perfectly on the anti side. Oh, but actually pushing both in here.
Yeah, because there's a sneaky deckhand in hand, so.
But did she just drop the sneaky deckhand as well?
Well, there was a sneaky deckhand in hand.
As the +3 from the Cleave.
Yep. Okay, we got that conquer up to 5 points. Okay, and we have. And there it is.
That makes perfect sense.
And there it is.
You love to see it. She only had 5 with the Cleave to push in to the arena's greatest, so being able to send the extra unit to ensure that you can score.
Yep.
And then you've got the sneaky deckhand in hand to push to 6.
So I low-key absolutely love this play because these units, they're no longer.
They don't matter.
They do matter in the trash for
Vi.
Yeah. You want them to be in the trash at this point. They're better off in the trash, so you might as well get them out and ready to play here. We see the all-powerful falling star here for Cody. And if Cody were at 6 points right now, that would be quite the play here. But they are unfortunately not. They've been on the back foot this whole time. They can double conquer here. Dana will gladly allow that to happen. And I think we're going to see Ride the Wind.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know what Vi Ride the Wind does, let's just explain it since it's probably what we're going to see on our screen in just a moment here, so you know exactly what's happening. Dana is going to play Vi Destructive, as you can see, has ganking and has the ability to recycle 1 from your trash, give me +1 might this turn.
Yes.
That is not a once per turn effect. You can repeat that as many times as possible.
It is slow speed, though.
It is slow speed. You can only do it on your own turn.
Right.
You cannot do it in response to anything. You can't do it on your opponent's turn. But you can do it as many times as possible. So as many cards in the trash as you have, you can give +might to your Vi. And then Ride the Wind is a spell that allows you to move a friendly unit and ready it, which would let you play the Vi, move it into a battlefield with Ride the Wind, and ready her. So when she conquers there, she can use her ganking to then move to the other battlefield. So it all comes from hand. It is not something you have to establish previously. You just have to have the 2 cards.
Oh, we see the Nocturne come out.
Finding a Nocturne on the Candlelit is going to be nice, but really the reason I'm talking about it is Jinx as a deck does not really have answers to stop this unless he's able to find a fight or flight that he's able to hide, which we see that is going to not be a fight or flight. In fact, it will be a Sun Disc, which I think is really cool. Jinx tech, I really enjoy it.
Really cool card. Not great against Ride the Wind.
Yep. So here we go. Dana just going to Awaken, Channel, Draw, and I think she is going to recognize there is only a single rune available, so
not going to be good enough.
Can't be fight or flight. Just going to start going through the motions of playing Vi. Counting the entire stack because there's 6, no 7, reason to do
8,
anything
9,
less.
10, 11, I think.
Looks like 11.
Turn them upside down. You technically don't have to shuffle them because it's done 1 at a time, but hey, why not?
Yeah, that is true. Just notably, if you recycle more than a single card, you do have to randomize them, but because Vi's ability is one at a time.
It has to be 1 at a time.
In fact, yes, it has to be. You just choose where you want to stack things through. But there's the Ride the Wind.
Yep.
Going to get that first conquer. Candlelit trigger going to come through. And then it will just be shipping the Vi over to the arena's greatest.
That's ganking.
And Dana is going to finish up game 1, and he's going to be able to take that down.
Just has ganking. Yep. Yeah, it works the way that you want it to, unless you're playing against it. In which
then
case
it works
you
the
go,
way you really don't
why
want it
in the
to.
world did they print the cards
Why
like
is this a common?
Yeah. Why is this a common, and why does Vi have ganking?
Yeah. Really, really well done from Dana in game 1. And Cody just not being able to get out the gates right away with the Jinx deck.
Yeah.
As we take a quick moment to thank our sponsors over at Heavy Play. You can use code SIDEWAYS at checkout over on heavyplay.com.
Yeah.
Get 10% off.
The pieces to that anti-deck really came together. Like the pieces of the Heavy Play products can come together. A lot of them snap together magnetically. They all work together, synergize very well, like Buy and Ride the Wind.
All right, but we will be jumping into game 2 shortly. They're just doing their sideboarding, and there we go. Dana versus Cody. Battlefields this time around. Annie with the Dreaming Tree, which is where you will draw 1 the first time you target your own unit with a spell each turn at that battlefield, of course. And on the other side, Zon Warrens, which is when you conquer, discard 1, then draw 1. So it is Gumbo, the Traveling Merchant's text. On a battlefield. So you've been playing a lot of Annie. Tell me about Dreaming Tree, why you like this battlefield in Annie.
Absolutely. I alluded to it earlier, and we saw it would have potentially worked out last. Fight or Flight now allows you to save your unit and draw a card there. Imagine if Dana made the play that they did, and they also get to draw a card. The card Flash is secretly one of the best cards in the entire deck, able to essentially do double Fight or Flight on your own units, which a lot of times I didn't. When I first saw this deck, I'm like, what in the world is Flash in here for? You can't push your opponent's units back. I want to be aggressive. No, you just need to have that material on the board. So Flash ends up being a way to aggressively push in with a Darius or a Kaisa, get those conquers and say, hey, yep, don't care, not going to get killed by combat here. Not really going to get killed by a lot. Even the Void Seekers, you get to dodge spells. There. You dodge a lot of the spells here. Not Falling Star, because nothing dodges Falling Star.
No.
But
Falling Star is inevitable.
Yeah, all of those cards are already good. And the fact that you can just draw a card onto the end of those effects that you already want to be playing is absolutely fantastic. And in fact, both of these battlefields are in my Annie list. So I think Dana certainly happy to see this spread of battlefields for this game number 2 where they're already up in the game.
And let's talk a little bit about the start for our Jinx player Cody here. Able to find that Fury Seal out the gates. You know, the best time to find the seal is on turn 1 generally. It looks like he didn't have a play to actually utilize the power there, and was just trying to dump the hand to get closer to the Jinx triggers. So we do see him playing the seal out, even though usually you would want to be able to utilize the power the same turn, so that you're not actually kind of like wasting that rune and de-ramping yourself. But we do see Super Mega Death Rocket also in the list. My favorite version of Jinx is the Death Rocket Phoenix combination, even if it may not be necessarily the best version. But we may end up seeing this here. It's possible, as we do have the Rocket in the list. It can potentially lead towards that with the seals. But it is just going to be Demolitionist just to dump the hand and push to that break point of being able to draw 2 cards each turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Effectively, mitigating at least the downside of Jinx Demolitionist. You're emptying your hand to play her, but guess what? You get to rebuy here. And yes, quest completed. Cody shows the hands. I got nothing in here, but that's not going to be the case for long.
Yeah, and this is pretty cool as well. Purple Teemo Scout. Not a card I necessarily expect to see so much in Jinx, but it
Not
does
super common.
It does kind of gives you this ability to hold a little bit better, where usually the deck
unheard of in Jinx.
Very bad at holding. So being able to maybe surprise your opponent or create these breakpoints that they're maybe thinking, oh, it's just a fight or flight.
Exactly.
And then they send it in and they get blown out by the Teemo, the +4, or the total of 4 might that is going to be added to that battlefield. That can make a huge difference. And if you're already including a lot of seals, oftentimes you won't actually have to be able to pay the hidden costs as much, right? So we'll see. This time around, of course, he does pay it, but that's just because he'd already used that power for Demolitionist. As we are going to have the Void Seeker come crashing down, and if it was a fight or flight, you'd be able to deny it, but a Teemo is still going to be able to hold the battlefield against the Traveling Merchant.
Teemo's so good. Yes, we see the what in the world is that card. If we can cue the Draven clip from LOR here. Yes, that is a Teemo, which again I've seen it pop up here or there. I do like it. It's break glass in case of emergency. It is a turn 1 unit, which is perfectly fine. It's not great as a 1-drop there. Sorry, as a 1 might unit on turn 1, but it conquers just like any other unit. If there's an open battlefield, you'll take it. And here we see, clearly, I think Dana was thinking that might be a fight or flight here, and we're actually seeing the Gumbo go into the Teemo here, and I'm wondering what the plan is here, because Teemo is still a 4 might unit here.
Yeah, Teemo is a 4.
Looks like we do have another response here.
Cleave.
That will do it.
5.
That
and
will do
Dreaming
it.
Tree, Cleave gets to draw an additional card.
That's another one.
So Cleave is a 1 for 3 offensively. It's not flexible in the sense that you cannot play it defensively. It is just +3 assault.
Yes.
But that does mean it is incredibly above
Yep.
rate when you are on the offense.
Yeah.
So that is going to be Dana getting that card draw from the Dreaming Tree, pushing in 5 versus 4, and being able to dismantle everything that Cody had built on this turn.
Yeah.
However, he still does have Demolitionist ready to run in and look for additional conquers, as he does get the draw from the Jinx. Going to get his runes and then draw for turn. 4 runes to work with. What is in the hand? Well, Virad the Wind. If you would like to use it because you Jinx, you might just play it. You might just kind of go for it, but there's really not much use for it. You can hold on to the Ride the Wind at least and save it for a future turn.
Yeah, I mean, Vi played out early just as a 3 might unit is less than ideal. Although it does not hurt as much because we do have the Seal of Rage there to pay that power cost. So already paying dividends. That seal has already generated, I think, 2 or even potentially 3 power here. So really getting value out of that Seal of Rage. I think, of course, with a lot of the cards we've seen in Spirit Forge, these seals are looking very strong in how the world of Riftbound is going here. Even starting to see it in these decks here, but we're just Vi riding the wind, just straight up. Let's just get in there.
Yeah, not spending anything from the trash, potentially wanting to hold on to it for dealing with something later, but that is going to get punished. Voidseeker is just going to be able to deal with the Vi.
Yeah, and it's actually, I mean, it's really good because that was going to be a free draw for Cody, because you do as much as you can. You discard a card. Oops, I've already got no cards. And then it says draw card. It does not say draw card if you discarded one. You just get that free card for the Conquer there. Same with our good friend Gumbo, the Traveling Merchant as well. If you have no cards in hand, you activate that ability. You just get to draw a card, which is insane.
Well, and it is a hidden card that he ends up finding. I do actually like this from Cody, though, to spend the hand due to the fact that we're on Sun Warrens. Kind of go for that extra card. You want a lot of that deck velocity. I do think he could have stood to maybe gone up to 5 because he's seen a lot of Void Seekers in this match so far.
Right.
So maybe go for the Recycle 2 on Vi.
Yeah.
Buff it up to a 5 when you send it in. Obviously, we have the benefit of hindsight, and we got to see what happened. But I do think trying to look to play around it when you have the luxury to do so might have been nice from Cody there, and he would have been able to kind of do the full Vi, ride the win, conquer both, see what he draws, and kind of play around that from there. And maybe he'd be able to keep Demolitionist at home, which is a really powerful thing to be able to do.
Yeah, we see the Annie here has an absolute bevy of options for the Annie player. We can Falling Star, which it looks like we may be doing here.
Lining up.
Yeah. Why look at other things when you can just do the best thing in the game instead? We're going to see a response here. It's another Teemo. Okay. If it was Fight or Flight there, would not have been nearly as good.
Yeah, the Teemo still showing up as, I mean, yes, it got blown out by the Cleave on the previous turn, but I do think that the idea behind it is still making things happen. Yeah. Cody's going to be able to potentially just get a hold there unless Dana has anything else, but that was pretty much the turn, right? Play the Falling Star, play out a Poro, you get ready your runes, but Cody's going to actually get to hold. And slows Dana down a little bit as he continues to be able to draw a bunch of cards due to this Jinx ability being online for so long.
Yeah. The problem is that Annie has already effectively drawn the cards. So Annie is able to use the Dreaming Tree to get their own Jinx ability and be able to use those cards much more effectively with the Annie ability. You can essentially fully exhaust on your turn, use all of your energy there, and then get an additional 2 energy every turn. So Annie, with the Dreaming Tree, able to not only draw extra cards, but also effectively get additional energy, which is really, really powerful.
Right, just going to be playing out the Flame Chompers, holding on to that Traveling Merchant in hand. Probably will just end up retreating the Teemo, I would imagine.
It's a possibility.
It looks like just in the turn.
No. Okay,
Teemo is just going to defend as a 1. Teemo's ability is that he gains +3 the turn that he has played.
Yep.
So that's why he's so strong from hidden. You're basically playing at 0 for 4.
Right.
It does cost a power. 1 power for 4 might on defense, which is, I mean, that's huge. That's a lot of damage that you're able to get through. But that is just going to be a Poro running in, and that will be able to clean up Teemo. So 1 might taken off the board, but put into the trash, and maybe that matters. I'm not, again, we haven't seen Ross's yet. But you do want a lot of grave fill if you are playing around Ross of the Sunder.
And even for future Vies, potentially, like, you know, it's something that you want to consider.
Yeah, we have seen the Vies.
It is definitely relevant. We're discarding a fight or flight here from Dana. We've got pick a cards. Oh, we do have the Vayne, which is nice. The Traveling Merchant can also come home, and it does not matter if you're moving into a battlefield or out of a battlefield or just moving anywhere. When Traveling Merchant moves, he is using that rummage ability, discard a card, draw a card. So if Dana wants to do a little bit more filtering here, has the free ability to do that.
See what the decision ends up being. That Vayne can still also be deployed to push in and get some of the later points that are needed, right? Because Dana's already, you know, at 3 right now. Does have the sneaky deckhand to just be able to deploy and continue to reinforce, because you're recognizing that, hey, the Jinx isn't in the champion zone. I have Flash, so it's not really risky to go for this hold, but it might dissuade the Flame Chompers from being able to come in and do so. So I love this use with the Flash in hand when you've got these two on the Dreaming Tree. I think it just kind of opens up a lot more kind of creative lines from Annie, where normally you're a deck that doesn't holding is not really something you're doing unless you're pushing their units away and
or ride the winning out of nowhere and
somewhere else. But in this case, it just kind of works against the Jinx.
Creating those awkward breakpoints. Like, talked about how 4 is an awkward breakpoint. Well, when it's 2+2, that's still 4. That's still awkward here for that 3 Flame Chompers. So Dana having the ability to create that awkward breakpoint, essentially force Cody to have to do something, and then Dana has a lot of options here depending on what that ends up being. Whether it's Flash or even the Fight or Flight.
There was a Fight or Flight in hand as well, right? It was
there
Flash.
Is, so one got discarded, and there is another one still in hand.
This side, you can just look for the Fight or Flight to go to score, and that's what Dana's going to do. And I was wondering if this would be, you know, what makes the most sense for her, right? The Poro, if Cody plays another Accelerate and eats the Poro, it kind of is what it is, right? It's just kind of like, okay, I'll take that. But I can defend it for now, look for the double hold, and if he goes for the bigger side of my board, I do have the Flash on the Dreaming Tree to get that out, as that is going to be just a Nocturne played. It is Nocturne. If you pull it from your deck, you can use that Fury Seal to pay for it. It is multicolored. But to play it from hand, you do have to actually spend a Chaos rune in power cost to play that Nocturne.
Looks like we are going to start here. We'll get some hold pointage up to 5 on the side of Dana.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, the same questions are there to be asked, right? You've got the Flash. Now at this point, maybe the Poro gets moved back because there's maybe less reason to deal with the Poro, as it looks like we do have a judge call from our players here just to double check something. So we will see that resolution of these two as the judges come over. We do fortunately have a table judge. Well, not a table judge. We have a judge in the area of feature that we have closer access to help resolve issues quickly for us. We ourselves on the broadcast are not involved in any of the judging decisions. If Blevins and I see something, it doesn't matter. Sorry, everybody in chat. We can't actually. We're not going to be able to. We're not influencing the game.
And also,
at all.
I'm probably wrong about it anyway. So
So it is up to the players and the judging staff here that has been amazing here at SCG Con. Trying to work things all together with a brand new game. Make sure that we're doing everything to the best of our ability.
Absolutely. So here, pivotal turn here. Dana, still at that magically bad 5 points, unfortunately.
Look at this. Same questions, I think, going to be asked again. Not quite. Ride the wind. I was wondering if it was just fight or flight. Ask the exact same questions of the previous turn.
Right.
But Ride the Wind does still open up opportunities for a closer. She's 1 point away from the 6. She has a lot of material on board to try and just make something happen. She can full retreat with the point lead she has, or she can still look for this flash play if she wants.
Yep. Yeah, and again, the flash also going to be drawing you a card if you're targeting a unit at the Dreaming Tree. Fortunately, you don't draw 2 cards if you target both of the units at the Dreaming Tree. That would be cool, but no. It'd also be broken.
Yeah. Even leaving the Poro this time around, just saying, hey, if you disrespect this, I can ride the Win the Ante in, make this very awkward for you.
Yeah. And depending on what goes in and takes the Poro, you can still ride the Win the Ante if you wanted to. If there's a, I'm not sure if there's another fight or flight or not, but you could really set up a, you know, we're at that 5, which is a bad break point normally, but you can change, Ride the Wind can change that. Since you can only, the rules say you can only score 1 point per battlefield per turn, not per turn cycle. You can score the point on your opponent's turn, and that does not count against the points that can be scored in that 1 turn.
All right, so Cody going to completely play around getting Ride the Winded by putting 7 towards the Zon Warrants.
Oh, it's 9, isn't it?
Oh, you know, you're right.
Full
Sorry,
9.
9. 7 will remain
7 extra,
there.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
so for I was ahead of myself.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I'm thinking about, oh, well, Dana looking to reconquer this on the same turn.
Yep.
We need to deal with that, but that is just going to be 7. I love this flash. Just going to be able to get the draw. Pull things back.
Yep. And this is fine. I think you probably, if Dana wants to cast the flash anyway, that's perfectly fine. Might as well get your card, and you can save your unit. This is not a board unlike when Jinx attacks or another assault unit attacks. This board is just as good on defense as it is on offense, so that Poro is still effectively going to do the same amount of damage. But now it can be on Dana's terms. Dana can reallocate that Poro somewhere else if they want to. They can make a different line of play if they want to. Doesn't not really change anything. The Conquer trigger is going to happen. The additional 7 might's going to be there. Or if Dana gets essentially to choose whether they want that 2 to remain on their side as well as Cody's.
Yeah, you know, Dana's still having the option on this turn with that Ride the Wind if Cody doesn't play around it properly.
Right.
And still has a Vi in hand. So if that 6 point is found, which it looks like the 6 point will be found, Dana can just wait. Dana can just kind of hold on, wait, and then play down the Vi on the subsequent turn and look to win from there.
Yep, and here we have
Falling
our good friend Falling Star. That Seal of Rage doing an absolute ton of work here.
Another Nocturne having to be deployed manually.
Yeah. Full price Nocturne, not ideally what the deck wants to do.
And I think if you're Dana, this is really happy. The Dreaming Tree is uncontested. So you can just send in a unit, get the immediate point there, go up to 6. This can be through, you know, this deckhand that you've got in hand. And then you can develop Vi, or you can develop Darius and then be ready for Vi on the following turn to just close things out. Because Cody's only at 4. You don't have to. You're ahead on this race. You're allowed to play patient, and Dana's just going to start with Darius.
Darius, sure, why not?
I mean, it's only 9 holding, so you can go up to 7 here and make Cody have it.
Sneaky deckhand going directly to a battlefield and directly up to 6 points. Dana goes. Okay.
And I mean that, you know, 11 greater than 9.
11 is greater than 9. 1 resource. I mean, there could theoretically be a Hex Tech Ray.
Yeah.
But even then, that's still. Yeah, it would just be a trade.
It'd be a trade. And Dana only needs to get to 6, and she's already done that.
Yeah.
Because we know that Vi Ride the Wind is lurking in the wings. This will push to 7. Cody going to have trouble trying to break through this anyways with just the single Nocturne at home. If he finds his own Ride the Wind, you can kind of get up to 6. You can deal with the board after the fact.
Yeah.
But we are aware, very aware of Dana's Vi Ride the Wind sitting in hand once again. And it's just been that bread and butter combo that has allowed this Annie deck to kind of rise up in the meta quite a bit, where it gives you that answer to busting through the hold from Yi after your early game, right? It gives you that answer to close things out if a Kaisa opponent ever taps out when you've made it to 6. And even then, sometimes they don't have to tap out.
Right.
You just get the Vi is way too big, and you can win from 6 against a deck that usually would have a lot of action against you, and it comes down to finding those early points. So the hard part of the Annie game is getting to the 6 points. And honestly, the deck is built to do it very efficiently.
Yes.
From there, the hard part becomes draw 2 cards that you put in your deck when you have a lot
you're
of
running max copies of stack decks.
and stack deck. You've just got ways to kind of dig there and find it.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of more likely to find it than not at some point in the game.
I would like to submit this. I like to call the bread and butter combo 2-drop into sneaky deckhand. That's the bread and butter, because that's the beginning. That's you're opening up your bread and butter. You want that every game. You're eating that at the begining of the meal. Meat and potatoes there. You're ending the game there.
Why
with
are you
Vi
putting meat and potatoes on your sandwich?
What kind of a question is that? I think the answer to that is self-evident.
Okay. It makes sense. The Nocturne is going to push in. This is 4 against 2, but Dana, I mean,
this is all fuel for Vi.
she's got spells, but realistically, she doesn't have to do anything here. We'll see what she's got. A flash, you might as well draw the card.
Still
There's
had
not really
all
a huge
these.
reason not to.
Yep. No, it's still a, hey, we have caster vision. We saw the hand of Cody not going to be able to really do anything here to stop this Vi ride the wind. Unless...
No, I mean, I like this from Cody. No. This is how you stop the hold, right?
Yes, no, yeah.
You're creating, this is your win con is that Dana doesn't have a way to score over the Nocturne on the next turn. You rocket away the Traveling Merchant. The hold doesn't win from Dana. I mean, look, Cody's doing everything that he can with the deck remaining at this point.
Yes.
You get the Conquer, you grab the Rocket, you're able to take out this Merchant. You don't lose immediately. But, Dana on the next turn can basically flash the Vi ride the win and say, hey, look, I've got it. To try and lock things up.
Exactly. And Dana doesn't know the cards in Cody's hand. Like, you still need to be playing correctly here. So I really enjoy, even though, again, we're jumping the gun, and by we, I mean me, jumping the gun here, knowing that the game is essentially locked up here for Dana with only 1 rune available, knows there's no fight or flight, and I think we should be good to go here.
Basically, Dana doesn't know it's locked up until this last 2-drop hits the board, and Cody taps below 2 runes available.
Correct.
That could be a fight or flight that could actually stop it from happening. And funny enough,
count them up.
In this spot, fight or flight actually doesn't save you because the deckhand can go to one side.
Bingo.
Ride the wind on the Vi, sends her in. Even if she gets pushed back, she'll be readied.
There it is. Okay.
So there's the scoop up from Cody. Dana's got it twice in a row. The Vi, the wind combo going to make it happen. And just showing why this is the dominant aggro deck of the format, why people are enjoying Annie over the Jinx for the Purple Fury decks so far. And Dana in the Annie cosplay, piloting Annie.
Yes.
Going to grab her first win of the Riftbound 10K here at SCG Con. Amazing first 2 rounds of gameplay, Blev, but we have so much more coming at you. 9 rounds of Swiss today and a top 8, all happening in this single day.